2 divorces, 2 heartbreaks, and a Hollywood star who can't seem to catch a break. Nicole Kidman's love life has become a story of patterns, power, and painful repetition. From a shocking split with Tom Cruise more than 2 decades ago to a quiet unraveling with Keith Urban in 2025, history seems to be echoing in ways no one could have predicted. But behind the red carpets, the smiles, and the perfectly posed photos, there's more than heartbreak. There's a web of control, karma, and secrets that's finally coming to light. And what happens next isn't just gossip. It's a revelation that could change how we see Nicole, her past loves, and the men who thought they could control her story. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were Hollywood's golden couple. Red carpets, interviews full of laughter, and the kind of chemistry that made everyone believe in fairy tale love. But behind the perfect smiles, trouble was brewing. In 2001, completely out of the blue, Tom filed for divorce. Nicole, who thought their marriage was solid, was blindsided. One quiet afternoon, her life changed forever. No explanations, no second chances, just headlines and legal papers confirming what she never saw coming. The media painted Tom as the villain, but insiders say there was more at play. His controlling streak, shaped in part by years in Scientology, meant that overnight, Nicole went from wife and mother involved in her children's lives to someone barred from parts of Tom's world. Connor and Isabella became off-limits, and Nicole was forced to watch from afar. Friends recall the shock she felt. A woman glowing with love and security suddenly left to piece her life back together in private. But the story didn't end there. What seemed like a simple Hollywood breakup was actually the first chapter in a 24-year-long pattern. A quietly calculated game of observation and control that Tom would carry with him for decades. And as history would later show, this was far from the last time Nicole would face heartbreak in silence. After the heartbreak with Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman seemed to find stability with Keith Urban. On the surface, it was the perfect second chance. Nashville mansion, 2 daughters, and smiles that lit up red carpets. Fans believed she had finally found peace. But behind the public image, cracks were forming. Keith's tour schedule kept him away, leaving Nicole juggling filming, events, and motherhood alone. Insiders say she looked tired, even lonely, pouring herself into work to fill the silence. What seemed unshakable was quietly unraveling, and some whispered that Keith might have been more of a role than a true partner, a mask of calm after decades of chaos. And just like that, the fairy tale wasn't quite what it seemed. History, it appeared, had a way of repeating itself. Then came June 2025, and everything changed. Keith Urban quietly moved out of their Nashville home. No fights, no social media hints, just distance. For months, Nicole tried to keep up appearances, still smiling for cameras, still wearing her wedding ring. But the calls stopped, the texts grew short, and the warmth vanished. It was a mirror of the past, almost like history repeating itself. 24 years earlier, Tom Cruise had left her quietly, blindsiding Nicole and sending her into heartbreak. Now, the pattern seemed to be playing out again, only with a different man. Fans and insiders whispered about the so-called rebound theory. Some claimed Keith was never truly the man Nicole needed, only a comforting image after the chaos of her first marriage. The quiet unraveling, the slow erosion of intimacy, and the invisible walls being built around her heart. All of it made Nicole relive the same shock and betrayal she'd once endured. But this time, the world wasn't just watching from the sidelines. Every subtle sign, every missed moment, every whispered rumor was being scrutinized, setting the stage for a revelation that would shake Hollywood and change the story in ways no one saw coming. While Nicole grappled with quiet heartbreak, Tom Cruise was watching from the sidelines. For 24 years, he had observed every move, every smile, every public display of happiness, quietly cataloging patterns, analyzing behavior, and waiting. Now, as Keith Urban's marriage to Nicole began to crumble, Tom saw what he had long suspected all along. The perfect man was never so perfect. The moment that seemed to confirm everything came during a sold-out concert in Chicago. Sources say Keith, performing for thousands, swapped Nicole's name in a song for his 25-year-old guitarist, Maggie Rose. Phones came out instantly, clips went viral, tweets exploded, And the picture-perfect marriage Keith had portrayed for years suddenly looked fragile, maybe even like a lie. For Tom, this wasn't pity or malice. It was vindication. 24 years of watching history unfold from the sidelines, of seeing himself painted as the villain after his own divorce, all seemed to culminate in this moment. Karma, he quietly told friends, was finally doing its work. Every slip, every public misstep, every viral moment confirmed what he had believed. Nicole's supposed safe harbor was never truly a rescue, just another chapter in a story he had long understood. And while the world watched headlines and viral clips, Tom's silent observation had turned into a personal reckoning. Years of careful attention, patience, and strategic detachment had led him to this point. Proof, in his eyes, that he had always understood the pattern, and that Hollywood's golden couple wasn't so golden after all. Look closer, and a pattern begins to emerge. Both Tom Cruise and Keith Urban, though very different men, allegedly relied on control, but in different ways. Tom's method was quiet, calculated, and often hidden behind religion, secrecy, and strict boundaries. Keith's, according to insiders, leaned toward public humiliation, emotional withdrawal, and subtle manipulation. Different methods, same underlying message. Power first, empathy second. For Nicole, the repeated dynamics were devastating. Her greatest strength, deep emotional loyalty, complete trust, and full investment in love, also made her vulnerable to men who couldn't or wouldn't meet her on the same level. She gave everything, and yet, the men in her life retreated. 24 years apart or side by side, the lesson was cruelly consistent. Love for Nicole often came with withdrawal, control, and heartbreak. Psychologists note that repeated patterns like this can leave lasting scars. But Nicole's story isn't just about pain, it's about resilience. She rebuilds quietly, elegantly, and with a poise that refuses to let these dynamics define her. Each heartbreak is met not with surrender, but with strategy, grace, and a quiet reclaiming of power. And as the world watches the cracks in her relationships, the subtle influence of control and manipulation becomes impossible to ignore. Through every heartbreak, Nicole Kidman has done what she's always done, turned pain into poise. After Keith Urban quietly moved out and the world saw her marriage unravel, Nicole didn't retreat. She gave a revealing Vogue interview, speaking with quiet authority about resilience, motherhood, and finding strength in solitude. She returned to the public eye with a new look at Paris Fashion Week, sleek, confident, slightly edgier, showing that she was in control of her own narrative. Every hairstyle, every outfit, every public appearance wasn't just about vanity. It was strategy. Nicole was reclaiming the story before the story could define her. She wasn't hiding from heartbreak or scandal. She was quietly proving that grace and strength can be as powerful as any verbal comeback. 2 divorces, 2 men who allegedly relied on control. And yet Nicole continues to rise, rebuild, and shine. While Tom Cruise may see vindication and history repeating itself, Nicole shows that true power isn't about revenge or control. It's about resilience. She survives, she loves, and she continues to move forward, turning heartbreak into a display of strength the world can't take away. And as Hollywood watches, one question lingers. Is this the final chapter in Nicole Kidman's most haunted love story, or just another act in a pattern she's learning to master? In the end, Tom may celebrate karma, but Nicole continues to do what she's always done: rise above, reclaim her story, and prove that no heartbreak, no matter how public or calculated, can define her.